Hello, welcome to Bentley's Backwoods Bushcraft, and this is Richard. So it is, I think, the 7th of March, April. I don't know. I think it's the April 7th. It's a little after 6:30 a.m. in the morning, and it's 60 degrees. It's a fantastic day out here. So I'm going to come out and do a little bit of training out here in the woods today. Just meander about and maybe talk a little bit about my ideas and concepts of martial arts. Now, don't take these as gospel. This is just my personal opinion. If you don't believe or train this way, it's quite all right. I'm quite happy with that. So we're back at the area here. Hold on, let me show you. Here is the tree that I did the deflections on. As you can see, it lifts up and comes down, lifts up and comes down. So I thought this would be a perfect example to talk about a concept that I am very enthusiastic about talking about. So what I want to talk about is blocking. I'm talking about your basic karate middle blocks, insides and outsides, your low blocks, your upper blocks, things like that. And please don't make fun of my blocks, because guess what? I don't block. I think that they're ridiculous. I think they're useless. They're impractical. And not only do they not work, but you don't see people blocking in real life. It does not happen. Look at any realistic street fight on YouTube. Look at any of them. You're not going to find somebody doing these blocks. It's not going to happen. Look at any MMA fight. Look at any kickboxing match. Look at any boxing match. Look at any competition. Even karate tournaments. The tag karate tournaments, and maybe we'll talk about that later. I don't like those either. But look at any karate tournament where if they're going to block, that's where you would see a block. You don't see them. It doesn't happen. It just does not happen. So here's a perfect example of being able to demonstrate the ineffectiveness and the danger of blocking versus what I like to do, which is deflections. I deflect. I do not block. Now, real quick, a block is a forceful stop of a motion, an attacking motion coming at you. It's a forceful stop. That's my personal description of it. It's my personal, if I had a personal dictionary, that would be my definition of a block. My definition of a block is a forceful stop of an attacking motion. Now, a deflection does not stop the motion. A deflection redirects the motion. It's a redirection. You allow it to continue on the path that it was intended, and you, using footwork and other ways, you alleviate the attack by either moving away from it or slightly altering its path, but you do not stop it. So anyway, this is a perfect example here. Now, I'm not going to do this for real because it'll hurt. Maybe I'll give it a try. I'll do it for real one time just to see. But let's just say somebody's coming down with this attack. They're coming down like this here, like either a hammer fist or a knife, or let's not even get to talking about knife attacks. But anyway, let's just say they're coming down with this attack and you're going to do an upper block, right? An upper block. So I'm going to stupidly, oh, this is going to hurt. I'm going to do an upper block, a real upper block. I'm going to let this come down just like this, just like that. I'm going to let it come down, and I'm going to do this karate upper block, right? Here we go. Oh, don't try this at home, because I'm telling you right now, it's stupid. It's not going to work, and it's going to hurt like hell. So here we go. Oh. There. Okay. It wasn't nearly as bad as I was expecting it, but that's not cool. Now, that really came down hard. and I didn't really stop it. It still came down on me. Here we go. Oh yeah, that's the last time I'm gonna do that. There, that's an upper block, right? Okay. I could probably handle a couple more of those, but I ain't gonna do it. All right, plus I've been training martial arts since I was 12 years old and I'm 53 now. If you're gonna do that, you better have a lot of conditioning. Now, as far as the deflection goes, all right, as the deflection, I'm not gonna stop this attack. I'm going to evade it by footwork, and I'm going to tap it out of its place. Yeah, let's see. Tapping is probably not gonna work so well because I'm not gonna be able to move it. Maybe if I do it on this side, I can actually move it over a little bit. So we'll try this here. So this is a deflection. Right there, that's a deflection. All right, let's show it to you on this side here. So here's a block. Oh, that's a block. And that's not very smart. Here's a deflection. That's me deflecting it. I move and I tap it out of the way. I don't forcefully do anything to it, and I don't stop its motion. So deflection, block. Oh, that's a block right there. All right. Now, I wouldn't recommend that block. I really wouldn't. If I had a choice, I'm deflecting every time. Every time I'm deflecting. Now we're going to use weaponry. This is a Joe. A Joe is nothing more than a 4-foot stick. That's really all it is. Now, again, this helps alleviate some of the damage if I'm going to use this as a deflection or as a block. Now, a block is going to stop it. I don't block, not even with weapons. A block would be more at an angle where it stops, where like here. Okay, so that stopped it, right? It's more of a horizontal, even plane to this attack. There, that stops it, right? Okay, I don't like that because I am not going to stop an attack. And stopping an attack does not effectively do what I want to do in the entire combat situation. I don't ever want to stop anything. I want the motion to continue. So when I do this, I'm going to do more of this. This angle here will not stop the motion, it will deflect the motion. So it allows it to slide down the Joe or the weapon and does not stop it. Now, it stops here because the trees actually stop it. But if it continued on, so from way up here, it'll continue on down if it wasn't stopped by the tree. But regardless, an angle like this here versus a block which is right here like this, okay? So now let's do it with sticks. All right, so now I have my sticks, and as you can tell, I still have my broken stick that I broke during training a couple days ago. We'll go ahead and use this. It'll still work. Again, this is Olisi. It's a stick, and when I use pretty much everything I do is a culmination of all of my training. It's my Filipino Kali, it's my Japanese Aikido, it's my Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, Japanese Jiu-Jitsu, it's my MMA, it's everything that I've gathered up through the years that I've culminated into a particular way that works for me. All right, so again, when someone strikes down, and this works anyways. If I had a stick that could flip back I can do it here and it coming like it's going to come and hit me in the side. I can do the same thing here. I'm just using this because this is the equipment that I have, and this is a good example of the overall. It works at any angle. You have your 8 angles of attack. It'll work at any angle. All this stuff will. So anyway, we're coming down, and again, the block. Yeah, we'll go this direction. There, like this here. That probably wouldn't have worked. That wing block out here like this, if it was done as a block and actually to stop the motion, that wouldn't have worked. That would have took my head off. Now, if I'm going to do my version of it, which is a deflection, I'm going to allow it to come down, but I'm going to roll with it like this and allow the momentum to continue, and I'm just going to deflect it off to the side and then continue my movement. Like so. Now, all right, so we're going to look at it from this angle here. So instead of doing the wing block, being in my left hand, it'll do more of a wing deflection. It'll do more of a roof deflection. So I'll angle it again at this angle here, not here where I'm blocking it. So as a block, yeah, this stick is not going to block that. It's just not going to happen. This stick isn't long enough. I don't have the enough of fulcrum. I don't have enough to stop that attack. That's a big ass attack, and this stick isn't going to stop that if I block it. Now, if I deflect it or redirect it, I'm here. Boom, just like so. Now, being in my left hand, it works as a roof deflection. If it was in my right hand, it would be a wing deflection. And again, if I'm going to block this, even with both hands, that's not going to stop it. That is not going to stop this big stick. Guaranteed it isn't. But if I deflect or redirect, whoa! There we go, look at that. So, redirecting and deflecting, to me, is the absolute way to go. Blocking is not. Now, I'm not saying that blocking couldn't work. I'm just saying I'm not going to put my life on the line to test that theory out in a situation that's real and necessary. So, what I'm saying is, I know for a fact, I know in real life situations, in truth, for me, blocking does not work, and even if it does work, it's dangerous, and it most likely is going to get you hurt just as badly or worse than the person you're trying to defend yourself against. I have more than average amount of real life experience and competition experience to know for a fact, for real, for truth, that absolutely, for me, blocking is not the way to go, and it is best to deflect or redirect. Now, I'll try not to dwell on that much anymore because it's one of my favorite subjects, and I'm very passionate about that, and I just don't want to see anybody learning martial arts and getting themselves hurt because they try something that just isn't going to work in real life. All right, so let's hit on a topic, again, another topic that I'm very enthusiastic to discuss, and that's kata. Now, again, I began training in martial arts in Shorin-ryu style karate in 1978. I was 12 years old, and kata was first introduced to me then. I don't like kata. I don't truly see a major importance to kata, and I definitely didn't back then. My attitude towards it has not changed a whole lot, but it has changed a little bit. Now, in 1978, when I started Shorin-ryu karate, my instructor was I don't know, second, third degree black belt in Shorin-ryu. He was a second or third degree black belt in Shorin-ryu, and he came out. He would do a little bit of teaching during class, but he left all the training really to his highest ranking person at the dojo, which was a brown belt. And to be totally honest, I can't remember the guy's name, but he did most of the training. So the instructor would come out, tell the brown belt what to do, the brown belt would teach the rest of us. And then the black belt would take off and do whatever he did. So we were doing kata one day, and I asked him, I said, well, what's this for? And he looked at me kind of baffled, didn't understand my question. I said, why are we doing this? I said, what's the purpose? And this is me at 12, and I wanted an answer, not a stupid answer, not a regurgitated answer. I wanted a real serious answer. And the answer I got was, well, that's what you need for your next belt level. End of story. That was it. Didn't see it, didn't understand it, didn't like it, and my attitude towards kata did not change. Now, you can say, well, maybe I started out with a bad explanation, poor instructors, whatever you want to say as the reasoning behind me disliking kata. But to be totally honest, it's none of that. The fact of the matter is that kata does not, for me, does not teach me what I want to know, what I want to learn. Does it teach coordination? Absolutely. Does it teach memorization? Absolutely. Does it teach training your mind to repetitively do something? Absolutely. And that's a very bad drawback too, because if you're in a kata and you're doing this, then you're doing this, then you're doing this, in a real life situation, that's exactly what you're going to do, because you do what you train to do. You do exactly what you're training in a real situation. So if all the time you're going here, 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 if you're doing that repetitively over years and years and years, if you get put into a real situation, you don't think about what you're doing. You just react, and what you're going to do is react exactly like that. You're going to do this, and you're going to get yourself hurt. We'll come to that here in a minute. But I don't understand. Take that back. I do not comprehend, because I don't understand anything. I don't stand under anything. I do not comprehend to this day the huge importance of kata. All right. Now, I can comprehend maybe some of the reasonings behind it. Maybe back when kata was developed, there wasn't a lot of people to train with, and they had to train by themselves. Therefore, they had nobody else to work with, so they created these katas to do the techniques, to maintain and to learn the techniques. The problem is kata is an extended series of techniques put together in a certain manner, and you repeat those over and over again. The problem is at least nowadays, people have no clue what they are. You know, you do this a million times, and people are telling you this is a block, these are blocks, this is a punch. That's not necessarily true. That is not necessarily true. This does not have to be a punch. This can be many, many, many things. This can be an arimi nage in Aikido. This can be the beginnings of an ikkyo in Aikido. This can be a lot of things. This here is not a low block. This can be inside, outside, hijiate, throw, nage, or otoshi. There's tons and tons of things this stuff can be, but they're not blocks, and they're not, you don't block anything. There's no blocking. But I just don't, and never have perceived the all importance of kata, because they don't teach you real true self-defense. And it's even worse because people don't even understand what they're doing anymore. So if you're going to do kata and you really want to do it for a self-defense situation or actually learn a technique, don't do these large series of movements. Pick out one technique or one thing. If this is all you do for 6 years, then just do that. But figure out what it really is. You know, work those techniques. This right here is, okay, the punch is coming in here, right? So you have the hand, you grip the hand, you're pulling the hand this way, which is drawing the person into you. You know, let's say it's straight across here like this. I'm grabbing you just like this, straight across. I'm pulling you in, and as I pull you in, this hand comes up to your neck, and then I throw you, just like this. Okay? See how this punch that you're taught in karate becomes a throw, just like this. I can even keep my hand closed, it doesn't matter. Boom. I get you right here along the neck, and I throw you down. Boom. Boom. Grab the hand, throw you down. Boom. Just like that. All right? So, if you do katas and you enjoy katas, there's nothing wrong with that. Nothing wrong with that. I just personally would never trust kata forms to instruct me in self-defense. And there's a lot of other reasons people do martial arts, and it's got nothing to do with real street self-defense. It's got nothing to do with combat. It's got nothing to do with any of that. I'm a huge proponent that people train martial arts for countless different reasons. Exercise, motivation, they're bored and they don't have anything else to do. Parents just want to put their kids somewhere so they don't have to deal with them. You know, tons of reasons why it happens. Then you have the group of people that do it for, they want to learn self-defense. They want to learn how to protect themselves for real on the street. And then there's people who want to do competitions. Whether or not you're doing a tappy point karate tournament, whether you're doing kickboxing, whether you're doing boxing, whether you're doing jiu-jitsu, competition jiu-jitsu, or whether you're doing MMA, any of that doesn't really matter. There's a lot of reasons people do martial arts. I personally focus mainly on realistic self-defense and combat. That's really what I focus on, because that's what I'm interested in. You can do it for completely different reasons. But the whole idea of kata just is not for me, is not a very positive thing. Now, in saying that, I understand, I comprehend why katas can be and are done today. Now, agree or disagree, because we all have opinions, right? We all have our views, we all have our truths, we all have, you know, what we believe. The problem is everybody's opinion and belief somehow gets turned into fact and truth, and I don't understand that, but regardless. But we all have our opinions, and today, katas are trained, in my view, for two major reasons. One, it's expected. It's something that parents want their kids to do so they don't actually get physically touched. It gives the kid a false sense, I use the word false because that's my view, a false sense of security, and it makes the parents happy. It's an expectation that parents have for kids. And let's be honest, any dojo that is profitable and makes it, and the instructor makes a decent living, they're focusing on kids because that's where the money is at. So you have that. And then the second group of reasons, the second reason why people do kata, in my view, is because the instructor truly has nothing to teach. They have no skills or abilities in a realistic situation, so they teach kata to avoid the fact that they don't really know anything. in a realistic street self-defense type way. Personal view. Whether it's right or wrong, I'm sure there's plenty of people disagree, especially the people who do kata a lot, and those instructors that teach kata. They probably disagree with me wholeheartedly, and that's okay. I understand that. That's not a problem. So those are my two big reasons why I think kata are done, because the instructors that teach them really don't know anything, and kata is a good way of fluffing their art, or it's an expectation that especially parents have with their kids to learn kata. So when I began teaching Aikido in particular, I got groups of people that would train with me, and I never had kata. I never did katas. Katas were not in any of my arts or systems that I taught the way I teach them. No katas, because I don't see the use for them. If you're going to do kata, just break down and do the techniques, and really do the techniques. Don't put them in this big long memorization strand that you have to learn, and this way, oh, you got to move like. Don't do that. If you want to learn the techniques, learn the techniques by themselves. So anyway, I had students, and learning to fall, everybody's going to get bruised and bumped up. It's going to happen. People in general don't know how to fall. It's not a natural instinct for humans. As a matter of fact, people are afraid of it. It's a natural fear. But especially when you have younger students and you have parents who are very overprotective and helicopter parents, when you try to teach them to roll and fall, they're going to get bumps and bruises. It's just going to happen. It's just the way it is. Everybody does it. So we would roll and fall, and then we would do techniques, individual, boom, boom, and I would boom, and that sort of thing. So it would be a one-on-one contact. It would always be contact. And I would have parents come up to me, well, don't you just have some katas they can learn? And I would look them straight in the face and go, no, we don't do kata around here. I teach these kids just like I teach the adults. I teach them real and how to do things honestly and truly, and kata's not going to help them with that. Kata's not going to help them out on the street. I don't teach kata. Well, most of the students would disappear and not come back. So now we're at the present day, and this is 15, 20 years later. I have implemented a few forms with weaponry in particular. Now my kids' karate class, I am starting to implement forms just because of the one of the two reasons is because it's an expectations that parents want. And if you're going to have a productive, viable, money-making business, and I used to consider the word business and martial arts to be taboo and should never go together. But I never made any money from martial arts either. I've had a couple dojos, and I've never been profitable with them because of that one particular thing right there. My belief system, and I would not change it because I felt that it was disrespectful to the art that I was teaching to alter it and water it down or fluff it up. And I still believe that to some degree, but I've shifted from here to here on that. Now I see a viable balance, a little bit of a balance. So the Boken and the Jo forms in Aikido are technically forms, but the techniques behind them, I teach the techniques behind them. The Bonkai, I teach those. And you can't advance in level just by doing the kata. You have to know and understand the actual and real techniques behind them. And they're broken down extensively. So, and with the kids karate class, as I said, I just now, and I've been in the martial arts for 41 years now, and I'm just now deciding that if I want it to be profitable, and I do want it to be profitable, because if I can't make it profitable, I can't teach what I want to teach, that I have to add kata into the system, at least for the kids. So this is what I've decided. All right, I'm gonna have to do what I have to do so that I can do what I want to do, because I can't do what I want to do unless I do what I have to do. And it's taken me this long to wrap my head around that and to actually initiate it, but I finally got there. So anyway, I don't want to say that kata is 100% bad and negative, but for me personally, it's not something that I'm going to focus on, and it's not something that I really want to deal with a great deal. And I won't do it in the classes that I want to do, but I'll have to do it in the classes that I have to do. So we'll leave it at that.